It was a beautiful draft, and luckily for us, we get an interview with Chu, the coach of OG, so we can ask some more questions about it. Chu, congratulations! You guys looked great. Your drafts were fantastic in both games here, and I have to ask, the Sand King Coddle, where did this come from? How long has this been in your back pocket?
I mean, we did practice it like since the last week, not for a lot, but it just like came to mind in the draft. We see the opportunity, we pick the Sand King Coddle.
Yeah. Do you think it's something that you guys want to try and run again in another official if the opportunity presents itself?
We'll see.
Okay.
I think it's pretty decent one.
Yeah.
Or can I just build off that question quickly about the Sand King? Did it go as you expected, or like were you kind of disappointed with the results, like in the laning stage and stuff?
It didn't really go as expected. It was kind of disaster in a way, but still fine, I guess.
I was going to ask the same question, but it doesn't matter. I can ask you something else. Like, which one of these captains or drafters are you maybe drawing the most inspiration from? They don't have to be from Europe.
I think Ao is pretty decent one, if you can call him captain. But I think he has a pretty clever understanding of Dota, and he has a lot of good ideas. Also, LGD from previous season, so it was Xiaoet. Also really enjoying this a lot.
Xiaoet and Aoi, good duo.
Alright, so I was going to ask, obviously you've been a coach for some time now. What is your style of coaching for OG? Do you try and lead the conversations more? Or are you more like an additional voice behind someone else? Like how do you kind of work within the 5-man roster of OG?
I feel like with time going, I'm like more of the 6th player on the team. Additional voice, additional opinion, something like this.
Sure. And like now that you're operating from at home, is there anything unique that you're trying to bring to the team? Like, are you trying to do, like, because again, it's harder because you're not at boot camp, right? So is there any concepts you're trying to bring to the online boot camp that you're bringing or you're providing?
I mean, mainly the working process, because we started doing a lot of pre-work before the scrims, and more about the strats part of the game.
You said pre-work before scrims. So I coached before, right? And normally, you know, the back in the old days, it was you get to your scrim, you play, and you talk after. Could you give some insight into what the idea is, the pre-work before a scrim is? Are you getting guys together and having like a 20-minute conversation, or like what's the idea of a pre-scrim meetup for OG?
I mean, so sometimes it's like brief ideas before the games, like connected to the heroes. But mainly it's like the matchups, so guys can warm up and don't get destroyed on the first scrim.
That's fair. Okay.
I'm sorry to go back to it, but Sand King is one of my favorite heroes. So I was curious if you could share like more reasoning on what you think the strengths are of it over other offlaners, like what value it brings that, you know, someone else couldn't bring with like a stun or auras or whatever.
I feel like it's kinda like good early game hero. It's pretty decent to have a Sand King versus these cheeky bastards who try to push us, who try to fight with us. It's like just overall good answer to the enemy team fight.
Okay. I have another quick question. Were you surprised by Into the Breach? First of all, their first phase bans against you, and then second part of the question, giving you Lina 2 games in a row.
I mean, it actually wasn't, draft wasn't going to as expected, but it was like in more favoring for us way. It was like, you give us Lina, you lose. What can you do?
That's fair. All right, now other teams know. I mean, I think everyone should know nowadays, if you give a team Lina, you're probably going to have a hard game. So, cool, thanks.
I do have a little bit more of a general question as well, just in terms of fitting DM into how you coach, but also your ideas and visions that you have for OG when it comes to the DPC.
Can you repeat this?
Fitting DM into your lineup, like how has he changed the way that you either coach or think about drafts?
I mean, it really didn't change the way, but more like give me more freedom on the ideas and heroes, and more freedom for the team overall.
Awesome. Well, I think we are all done with questions. Chu, thank you so much for answering them, and congratulations again on the win.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. More freedom. He gets to draft things like the Sand King. Did you have all of your Sand King questions answered?
He wouldn't. Give away the
Alex was
hard
like,
secrets.
no,
He
no.
wouldn't give away
She
the
needs
hard
to know
secrets.
more
I
about
wanna
all the
know.
Sand King.
She's gonna go message
I
him
wanna-
now.
Well, every minute to minute, I want to know the peaks and the timings.
I would like nothing more than to plant myself in the sunshine next to a cool stream.